To be in this session. I know you had choices. I'm so happy to have you here. How about this conference so far? I feel like I want to twirl some flags up here, right? And how about this hotel? I want to move in here. I'm going to live here because a bathtub with a TV right above it, yes, I need that in my home. So today we're talking about mind over job. You guys have all heard of mind over matter before, right? Same concept. Using your mindset to manage how you are perceiving the challenges that you face day in and day out in the workplace. Because we all face challenges every day, don't we? Yeah. So we're going to start this session. I'm going to share with you a question. All you have to do is sit back, relax, listen to the question, and think about how you would answer the question. Easy peasy, right? What you don't have to do is shout out your answer, okay? And you don't have to poke the person next to you and go, oh, I got the best answer ever. Just keep your answer to yourself for the moment, okay? So this question was created by a Fortune 500 company when they were looking to bring on a new CEO. So they developed this really creative question. I'm gonna help you guys visualize this, all right? You are driving down a dark, deserted highway in the middle of nowhere in the pouring rain. It is a horrible rainstorm. You can hardly see like just a few feet in front of you in your headlights. And you're going through the radio stations and you hear the announcer say that this is such a horrible storm, all of the buses have stopped running for the evening. You're in the middle of nowhere. And just as the announcer is saying this, you see in the distance what looks like a bus stop. As you get a little bit closer, you see that there are 3 people huddled under this little tin awning at this bus stop. You get closer still, and you see who those 3 people are. The first one is a sick old woman who desperately needs to get to a hospital. The second person, you cannot believe it. It is your old best friend from high school. You have been looking for her everywhere, classmates.com, LinkedIn. Here she is, middle of nowhere, under this little tin awning with these people, right? And then the third person is someone that you have never seen this person before in your life, but the second you see this person, you know it's my soulmate, the love of my life. I want to be really clear here, you guys. This is my soulmates. Insert your own. So you've got these 3 people. You're in the middle of nowhere. It's a pouring rainstorm, middle of the night. The buses have all stopped running for the evening. Your car seats 1 passenger. And after tonight, you're never going to see any of these people again. So who do you take with you? This is the moment when people want to shout out their answer. Just keep it to yourself for a minute. Think about it. Come up with your answer in your head. Do you take the sick old woman who desperately needs to get to a hospital, your old best friend from high school, you missed her so much, or do you take George? So does everybody have an answer in your head? Okay. I want to share with you the answer that the person who got the job as CEO gave in this interview process. So he said, well, I would get out of the car. I would hand my keys to my old best friend from high school. I'd tell him to drive the sick old lady to the hospital, and I would stay there cuddling with the love of my life under that little tin awning until the buses started running again in the morning. Awesome answer, right? You can see exactly why he got the job. How many people were like me the first time that I heard this question? You were like, you gotta take the old lady. I mean, you wanna take George so bad, but you gotta take the old lady. Who was thinking that? Yeah. So what made the CEO's answer so awesome and brilliant? He thought outside the box. Yeah, it was a win-win-win. Yeah. He created this really positive outcome. It was much more positive, much more productive than our outcome because you and I, we were leaving 2 people there. We were leaving George Clooney there, right? But he created a much more positive and productive outcome by simply breaking the pattern of thought. So that's really the lesson here from that story, is to rethink your patterns. Rethink your patterns. Because we all get stuck in patterns, right? Patterns in the workplace. You've got patterns of behavior, patterns of interaction, patterns of inaction, and patterns of thought. And sometimes those patterns are really productive and they're really awesome, right? I mean, as administrative professionals, where would we be without our routines and our processes and our habits? Sometimes they're really great, but sometimes they're not as productive as they could be. They don't lead to the most positive and productive outcomes. Now, here's the thing. I want you guys to all do something here with me really quickly. Sit up nice and tall in your chair. Just put your hands out like this and give me some jazz hands. Okay, just jazz hands, no spirit fingers, just jazz hands. And go ahead and smack your hands together. I want you to interlace your fingers nice and tight all the way up to the webbing. And, like you're going to go out and play handball. Bring your hands up to your chest and straighten your fingers. Now, slowly, I want you to just take one hand, shift it over by one finger, and then lace back up again. So now you have a different forefinger in front, different thumb on top. Make sense? How's that feel? Awkward, weird, uncomfortable. Back out again. Give me more jazz hands. All right, this time, you're going to go back into second position, okay? Second position, the position you just left, and go. Right? How was that? You had to think about it a little bit more? It was difficult? Yeah. And think about it, you guys. That's one tiny change. You can put your hands down. One tiny change, we moved by one little tiny finger. And oh my God, grumpy kitty mode, right? Oh my God. It was a tiny little change, a tiny little shift, and it is so uncomfortable. We hate change. So if you feel like this at some point during our session today, or as you are applying the strategies that I give you, it's cool. You're supposed to feel like Grumpy Kitty when you are making positive changes for yourself.